Welcome. I hope you all had an amazing week. It has been a whirlwind week for the Steelheads. My name is Jordan Davidson, and this is another episode of Behind the Bench. This season, if the Steelheads go down 3 goals in a game and come back and win that game, I will do the one chip challenge on a future episode of Behind the Bench. Follow along with these hashtags. Once they go down 3 goals in a game, it is a one chip watch. Following a one chip watch, once they either take the lead in regulation or get the game to overtime, it is a one chip warning. And then once they officially clinch a win after a one chip watch, it is a one chip event. Once we have a one chip event, you guys get to see me cry. Anyway, a lot happened on the ice this week and a lot happened off the ice this week as well. The Steelheads began their week with a school matinee on Wednesday in Hamilton, then returned home on Friday to take on the North Bay Battalion, and concluded their week on Saturday night at the Niagara IceDogs. I was at the last 2 games. I was not in Hamilton because I had to work, but I will recap all 3 games for you. A lot happened this week, so let's get to it. Ethan Del Mastro recovered from his concussion. He was available for the game in Hamilton. Alessio Bellieri was still sidelined with his groin injury. And unfortunately for the Steelheads, Chaz Nixon, who is our normal third goalie, was not available for this week either because he was named to the World Junior A Hockey Challenge, the Canada East team. So he was trying out for that and subsequently participating in that. So he was not available for the next 2 weeks. So on an emergency basis, the Steelheads borrowed goalie Sam Hillebrandt. And he was our backup goalie for this week. Ryerson Leenders starting for the Steelheads, and Tristan Malboeuf starting for the Bulldogs in Wednesday's school matinee game. Anyway, the school buses arrived, the puck dropped in Hamilton, and this long week got underway. Ryan Humphrey took a very early tripping call just 42 seconds into the game, and then off the ensuing faceoff, Ethan Del Mastro with a big shot tipped in by Owen Beck on the rebound. Owen Beck scores his 16th, Ethan Del Mastro with the assist. And less than a minute into the game, it is 1-0 Steelheads. It would not take long for Hamilton to tie this one up, though. It would be Noah Nelson at the 2:04 mark, slipping one past Ryerson Leenders to tie this one up, give the assist on this one to Mason Ray and Gavin White, and we'd have a 1-1 game, just like that. Just over a minute later, at the 3:32 mark, Ryan Humphrey would make up for his penalty somewhat by putting one past Ryerson Leenders, giving the Bulldogs the lead, give the assist on this one to Lawson Shirk and Adrian Rebello. And we'd have a 2-1 game very quickly, still less than 4 minutes into the game. Okay, this is the one I'm going to have to read because I can't do all this from memory. 9:41, the biggest scrum of the season happened. It seems like everything was going on, so let's see. We got a check to the head call on Mason Zabeski. We had a tripping call on Hamilton's Lucas Moore. Florian Jackeye went after Zabeski for his check to the head, so they fought. Jackeye with the instigator. There was another fight between Casper Larson and Ryan Humphrey because it was the second fight of the scrum. They both got kicked out of the game. Am I missing anything? Actually, no, yeah. All the instigators, yeah. But a lot of stuff happening there. Zabeski and Jackeye fight, they sit. Larson and Humphrey fight, they get kicked out. Yeah. Fun one for the kiddies. Following all that fun, Charlie Callahan was also called for a slash at the 12:33 mark, and Avery Hayes was able to capitalize on that just a few seconds later at the 12:54 mark. He would make it 3-1 Hamilton, assist on that one to Logan Morrison and Gavin White. And Bulldogs putting up quite a bit of a lead here. But the Steelheads would strike back before the end of the period, following a big save by Ryerson Leenders at the other end. It'd be Zachary Lavoie finding the 5-hole of Tristan Malboeuf, making it a 1-goal game again and saving me from a one-chip watch. Give the assist on that one to Owen Beck and Isaac Enright. And at the 16:21 mark of the first, it would be 3-2 Bulldogs, and that is how the first period would end. Just a minute into the second period, a beautiful left-wing snipe from James Hardy would tie this game up. It got pretty much 80% of Tristan Malboeuf, but he could not stop it all. Hardy ties the game, give the assist on this one to Luke Misa and Lucas Carmiris, and we'd have a 3-3 game a minute into the second. 5:01 mark now in the second period. Charlie Callahan would be whistled for boarding. That would draw the ire of the Bulldogs' Lucas Moore. He would go after Charlie. They would go at it, have a nice little tussle there. Moore would get the instigator. Charlie would be called for boarding, so the minors would cancel each other out, but Moore would go for longer than Charlie did. So it would be 4-on-4 for a bit, and while it was 4-on-4, a nice little rush between Hardy and Beck. Hardy would get a shot on Malboeuf. Beck would get the rebound, and then Hardy would bury the second rebound to give the Steelheads the lead. Of course, the assist going to Owen Beck and Ethan Del Mastro getting the second one, and that would give the Steelheads a 4-3 lead. 13:41 now, Charlie Callahan back out of the box, but the Bulldogs decide that they're not done with him. Artem Grushnikov decides he wants a piece of Charlie, so he goes after Charlie, and they go at it for a bit. Second fight of the game, second part of the period for Charlie. They're both of them instigated upon. Grushnikov will get the minor and the misconduct as well. Yeah, nice little fun game for Charlie. Unfortunately, it would be costly, not for the fights, but because of the boarding call earlier. Charlie would get a 5-game suspension, so he'd be out for the rest of the week and for the following week as well. So, not the best news, but Charlie had himself a fun game. And the fighting would not stop there. At the 17:03 mark, this time it was Isaac Enright picking a fight with Florian Jackai. This would be Jackai's second fight of the game as well. This time Enright was the instigator, so this would result in a Bulldogs power play. And on that power play, Avery Hayes would tie the game at the 17:54 mark, give the assist on this goal to Logan Morrison and Gavin White, and it'd be a 4-4 game, and that is how the second period would conclude. Now, I was working during this game, although I was able to catch most of the first and second periods. Third period I was pretty busy though, so I didn't see a lot of that. Looks like it was relatively tame compared to the first two periods. There was a double minor high stick on Lawson Shirk early in the third, but not much else happened. After 3 it would still be 4-4, and we would head to overtime. And in overtime, it would only take one shot and 18 seconds. James Hardy completing the hat trick and the game in one fell swoop and finishing it off with a soccer celly to boot. Give the Steelheads the 5-4 overtime win. Assists to Luca Del Babaluz and Ethan Del Mastro. And the Steelheads would open their week on a positive note, 5-4 in Hamilton. I was not at the game, no video, so the 3 stars are as follows. The third star with a goal and 2 assists was Owen Beck. Hamilton's Avery Hayes with his 2 goals was the second star, and the first star, of course, with the hat trick was James Hardy. So a nice positive way to kick off the week with a big win and a nice full lineup. Unfortunately, this is the last time we would see a nice full lineup for a while. Ethan Del Mastro and Owen Beck departing for Team Canada camp prior to the next game, the home game against North Bay. The Isaac Enright trade, which I mentioned in a short, and the Charlie Callahan suspension, which I also mentioned earlier in this video as well. So that would leave us kind of shorthanded as well. Casper Larson, I believe, may have been suspended as well for a single game. He did not play on Friday, but he was back on Saturday. So the Steelheads were feeling it. They were a bit short. So I knew I'd be going into this game with North Bay, expecting to see a pretty interesting lineup. Here is my pregame from the game against North Bay. Well, another day, another hockey match. World Junior time. I know that Ethan Del Mastro and Owen Beck have left for camp. I'm not sure about Alessio Baglieri, if he's on the same schedule or anything like that. But World Junior time is fun and a little bit scary. See how we can do without some of our best. But we got the battalion in town today with the players we do have. Let's see what we can do. Let's walk around. Well, it's not the usual one, but the avocado delivery truck has arrived. I think I saw the players in there. Yeah, I can kind of see him around the corner there. But yeah, players are here. Our players are here, what's left of them. Let's get a win. Cool little display here at the sports complex next to the arena. This is actually a jersey from the Memorial Cup in 2011, back when Mississauga hosted that. That was the precursor to the Steelheads, the Mississauga St. Michael's Majors hosting the Cup. They actually got all the way to the finals before they lost to the Quebec League champion St. John SeaDogs in that tournament. The OHL champion that year was the Oa Sound Attack, and the Western Hockey League champion was the Kootenay Ice, who are now the Winnipeg Ice. So those 4 teams descended upon what was then the Hershey Center back in 2011. Played a nice little tournament, and these are the remnants. These tickets are actually from my section, not my row. Actually a little further back than my row. But yeah, cool little history thing here. Moment of truth, we got an Eggleton sighting among the forwards. Hillebrand is still the backup goalie. Chas Nixon's still away in Cornwall. Dylan Gordon makes his first appearance in a while. Liam Spencer's still with us. Yeah, different looking lineup, but see what we can do with it. Sharpie got an A now? Yeah. Sharpie got an A? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there. Yeah.
Not dressed for your Steelheads, number 1, Chaz Nixon. 22, Casper Larson.
Wow.
37, Charlie Callahan. 77, Ethan Del Mastro. 86, J.Q. Bertie. And 92, Owen Beck. And add to the Steelheads lineup, number 78, McGregor Richmond.
So we would see a lot of the young faces in the lineup against North Bay. Liam Spencer played, William Eggleton played, McGregor Richmond played. Mason Zaveski also made the shift back to defense as they were very short on defense for this game. Sam Hillebrand, as I mentioned, was also the backup once again to Ryerson Leanders, who would start the game against North Bay. The North Bay's goalie was Dom DeVicentis. The puck dropped in this one, and we would get underway. Even though the Steelheads were holding their own defensively, it was pretty easy to see they weren't icing a full lineup. North Bay would finally break the ice 14 minutes into the game exactly. Nikita Tarasevich with the goal, give the assist to Matvey Petrov, and it was 1-0 North Bay. Just 54 seconds later, North Bay would get another. Anthony Romani beating Ryerson Leanders, give the assist on this one to Ty Nelson and Wyatt Kennedy, and we'd have a 2-0 game. Just like that, that is how it would end after one. Bit of a scary moment late in the first. The Steelheads were on a power play. Matvey Petrov was serving a too-many-men penalty. Luka Delbabalouz took a shot. There was a lot of traffic in front, and as it turned out, Ty Nelson had lost his helmet just seconds before, and he blocked that shot with his face. He would skate off in considerable pain. He'd be all right, though. He'd be out for the rest of the first period, which was not much at that point, but he would return for the second, and nothing would happen in the power play. The Steelheads would be down 2-0 after one. Second periods, when North Bay started to dominate a little more, the Steelheads really were not looking like themselves. Of course, they weren't their full lineup, but only 6 shots in that period. Alexander Lukin would make it 3-0 with a goal at the 13:30 mark of the second, give the assist to Paul Christopoulos and Matvey Petrov, and we'd be on a one-chip watch. Steelheads down 3-0. Later on in the second period, with James Hardy serving a hooking penalty, Josh Bloom would make it 4-0 for the North Bay Battalion. Yeah, one of those games, guys, one of those games. Kyle Jackson and Ty Nelson with the assists, and it would be 4-0 for North Bay. That's how it would stand after 2.
Well, when the game's not going great, you find your ways to entertain yourself. Good try, boys.
Now, Josh Bloom took a high-sticking penalty late in the second that the battalion were still serving into the third, and while they were still on that power play, the Steelheads finally broke the ice. A beautiful feed from James Hardy to Luka Delbabalouz to bury it and finally get the Steelheads on the board. Hardy, of course, with the assist, and Chaz Sharp with the other one. That would make it 4-1. 3:25 mark now. Liam Arnsby of the battalion had already been called for a holding the stick penalty and was still a delayed penalty at that point. Arnsby then just proceeded to give a check to the head of Quinn Binney, which Chaz Sharp took exception to. He tried to get at him. They couldn't get together. They were separated very quickly, but Chaz Sharp did get an unsportsmanlike conduct call for his attempt. Arnsby would be kicked out of the game for his check to the head, but the two minors would cancel each other out. Any attempts to grab momentum in this game were in vain, though. The battalion would lead the shots 34-24, very un-Steelhead-like, but of course the lineup is very un-Steelhead-like. Josh Bloom would get his second goal late in the third period, assist on this one to Kyle Jackson and Matvey Petrov, and we'd have a 5-1 game. There wasn't a lot of hope for the Steelheads in this game, but there would be a nice moment in the last minute of the game. William Eggleton was able to bury a goal for his first OHL goal. We got a little milestone. It was fun for him. We'd still be well behind in the game, 5-2, which would be our final. But nice moment for Will Eggleton at the end of the game. Yeah, not much else to say, though. 5-2 win for the battalion. Apparently, when you lose a bunch of guys to the World Juniors and injuries and suspensions and trades, this is what can happen. Here's the 3 stars and what I got post-game from the game against North Bay.
All right, fans, here are tonight's 3 stars of the game presented by Pro Hockey Life. Raise your game. The 3rd star from the Steelheads who scored his first OHL goal of his career, number 18, William Eggleton.
Attaboy Wiggles!
The 2nd star from the battalion with the freest this night, number 22, Matvey Petrov. And the 1st star from the battalion with a pair of goals, number 18, Josh Bloom. Steelheads are back.
Nice shot, buddy. Congrats. Yeah. Hey, Quinn.
Yeah. See ya.
Hey. Good. How's the face?
hurts a little bit. Gotta go down to the doctor or dentist office Monday. So.
Yeah, well, good luck.
All right, take care.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, Andrew. See you later.
Yep. Well, not the best game for the Steelheads, but not the strongest lineup, so kind of to be expected. The downstairs room was kind of a ghost town today, so didn't get a whole lot. But going to Niagara tomorrow, they are a last place team. They're a league worst 16 points, so hopefully we can get a win tomorrow, I believe. Let's do it. So a tough game against North Bay, but the Steelheads would regroup and refocus for their game in Niagara against the IceDogs. It would be tough with all the holes we had in the lineup, but still, we beat Niagara on opening day. Before we had Owen Beck and Ethan Del Mastro and Luca Del Babaluz back from NHL camps, so we knew it was possible, and there was some hope going into this one. Here's what I got from pregame. Saturday now, here we are again, at the Meridian Center, at the Meridian Center, at the Meridian Center, where the IceDogs play. Let's get a win against those IceDogs tonight. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, but it feels like fall. Hello, old friend. The graceful chariot carrying the winning team to the Colosseum, I guess. I don't know why I'm speaking in ancient Greek right now, but of course this is where I saw the black cat last year. If you'll remember my vlog from here last year, I believe it was beginning of March, and what happened subsequently and what happened in some of the games subsequently after I saw the black cat. But yeah, good news is I have a white cat now, so maybe that cancels it out if I happen to see this black cat again, but I'm keeping my eyes out. No word of a lie, actually. After I just filmed that last bit about the black cat, I spotted this on the ground and thought, oh my god, is that it? But no, someone just left a piece of clothing on the ground. But that was a little spooky for a minute. To be fair, from over here, it does kind of look like a dead animal, so I don't think I'm that crazy. Here we go. Hillebrand's still here. That's William Haley. First time seeing him in person. Larson's back. That's a good sign. 29 over there is our old buddy Voldemort Hall, playing against our boys for the first time. With the puck right now there. Best of luck to him, but not too much. And Voldemort Hall scores, for old time's sake. My go-to snacks at a game, either hot dogs or pizza, but today I'm trying the nachos. I have to admit, Niagara's nachos are really good. Cheese is piping hot. You can see the steam coming off. Yeah. Highly recommend Niagara's nachos. Ryerson Leaders would again start in net for the Mississauga Steelheads. The Niagara IceDogs goalie would be Owen Flores. The puck dropped, and we get underway in St. Catharines. It was an even-ish first period. Niagara led the shots 10-7 in that one, so offense a little something to be desired still, but the defense was okay. Pretty back and forth. Couple of penalties, nothing major. There would be no score after one. The second period is when the Steelheads were started to look a little more Steelhead-like. The shots were 21-7 in favor of the Steelheads in the second period. Unfortunately, Owen Flores, the goalie for the IceDogs, was looking Patrick Waugh-like, and the Steelheads would not score on any of those 21 shots. The IceDogs would finally break the ice at the 8:03 mark of the second period. Declan Waddick with the goal gave the assist to Rodwin Dionisio, and our old buddy Voldemort Hall got an assist as well. It'd be 1-0 IceDogs, and that's how it would be after two. All right. Come on, get him good. Make that other eye black. Oh, he's trying to catch some. Maybe. Oh, that one got him.
30 seconds gone, 30 seconds to go.
Hey, Bones, remember me?
Time is winding down. We got less than 10 seconds.
He doesn't care right now.
You gotta toss it in 3, 2, 1. All right, Bones, we're ready for 5.
Bones. Almost got you, Bones.
11-13 into the third now. The Steelheads would end up tying it up, finally beating Owen Flores, and it would be who else but Dylan Gordon. Just his second game back from his lengthy absence from the lineup, Dylan Gordon putting a point shot past Owen Flores, give the assist to Luca Del Babaluz, and we'd have a tie game in the third. So the Steelheads do get a little bit of momentum in a game where they were dominating the shots. The final shot tally would be 44-27 for the Steelheads, but it's not about the shots, it's about the goals. And the next goal would come from the Niagara IceDogs at the 14:02 mark. Daniel Michaud with a nice long-distance slapper give the assist to Nathan Rebo, and it would be 2-1 IceDogs. And unfortunately, despite a furious push with the empty net, that would be the final. Try as they might, the shorthanded Steelheads could not get a win against the last place Niagara IceDogs. It'll be a 2-1 final for them. Here are the 3 stars and what I got post-game from there.
The third star from Mississauga, number 31, Ryan Leaders. The second star, he had the game-winning goal tonight. Give it up for number 91, Daniel Michaud. And the first star tonight, what can you say about this guy? 43 mega saves, number 35,
Well, congrats on getting a draft today. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah. You got a draft photo, I gotta get done reviewing the one. There you go. Okay, I just got 2 photos right here. Yeah. It's up to you if you want to put that on there, it's up to you. If you want to,
Oh, careful, buddy.
have a night.
So the action on the ice was done for the week, but the action off the ice was just beginning. Monday started out pretty normal. Alessio Bellieri left for Team Switzerland camp. We also found out later on Monday that Owen Beck would be returning from Team Canada camp. He would not make the World Junior team this year, so we get him back. A little bit of a boost for a struggling team. And then the bombshell happened. Zachary Lavoie was traded to the Niagara IceDogs, and we got 5 picks back, and they were all top 4 picks. So pretty good return for Zach Lavoie, but still, we traded Zach Lavoie. We were not expecting that one bit. And I mean, 2 seconds, 2/3, and a 4th over the next 4 years of drafts are nothing to sneeze at, but I don't think anybody saw this coming. I don't know what the Steelheads are planning to do with those picks, whether they plan to keep them or maybe plan to package them in a deal to bring somebody in. There are rumors floating around that Shane Wright might be available if they Seattle Kraken decide to return him to the OHL. I don't think Kingston is planning on making a huge run or anything like that, so Wright might be available. It's speculation at this point, but you never know. On a personal note, I'm going to miss Zach Lavoie tremendously. He was one of the real good guys that I've met during my journey as a Steelheads fan. Niagara, please be good to this guy. He's going to be so good to you. I don't want to get too emotional, but Zach, thank you so much for everything, and wish you the best of luck in Niagara, man. Now, this is what I was going to talk about before Lavoie got traded. The CHL NHL Top Prospects game is going to be held next month in January. The Vancouver Giants of the Western Hockey League are hosting it this year, so I don't think I'm going to that one. But 15 OHLers were selected to play in it. They are as follows: goalie Charlie Robertson of the Battalion, defenseman Bo Akey of the Barrie Colts, Cam Allen of the Guelph Storm, Oliver Bonk of the London Knights, Hunter Bruce Stevich, I think you pronounce it, of the Kitchener Rangers, and Andrew Gibson of the Sioux Greyhounds, those are the defensemen. Forwards, we got Colby Barlow of the Owen Sound Attack, Nick Lardis of the Peterborough Petes, Ethan Medema of the Windsor Spitfires, Quentin Musty of the Sudbury Wolves, Luca Pinelli of the Ottawa 67s, Colson Petre of the Flint Firebirds, Carson Rekov, Kitchener Rangers, Callum Ritchie of the Ottawa Generals, and Kerry Terrence of the Erie Otters. Congratulations to all 15 of those guys being selected to play in next month's Top Prospects game. No Steelheads this year. Of course, last year we had 2 with Luca Del Babaluz and Owen Beck. This year, though, a lot of our best players are either drafted already or not eligible yet. Like someone like Luke Misa, who actually has a late birthday, so he's not actually eligible until the 2024 draft. He would have been if he were born before, I believe the cutoff is September 21st or something like that. But because Misa has a November birthday, he can't be drafted until the following year. I think it has something to do with when you're able to sign a contract or whatever in relation to the NHL season. So it's kind of a weird rule, but fortunately because of that, Luke Misa is not eligible until next year. That doesn't mean there won't be any Steelheads drafted this year. I think some might have an outside chance. I was going to mention Zach Lavoie as someone who was passed over last year who might get a chance, and he still might if the IceDogs give him some minutes. Also someone like Alessio Bellieri, if he happens to round out his season a little bit. I think some NHL teams might be interested, but so we're not super heavy in the NHL draft picture this year, but next year we might have Luke Misa going, we might have like a Lucas Carmiras, we might have Ryerson Leanders, maybe even Parker Von Richter. So it's kind of an ebb and flow thing. This year is light, but next year will be heavy again. We'll see. In any case, this week the Steelheads play their final 3 games before the holiday break. Thursday, December 15th, they will be at North Bay taking on the Battalion. The next day, Friday, December 16th, they will be in Sudbury taking on the Wolves, and they'll be back home on Sunday, December 18th for a game against the Kitchener Rangers. That will be their last game before the unofficial first half and the holiday break. Unfortunately, because those first 2 games are on a Thursday and Friday and very far away from me, I'm not able to attend those, but I will be at the home game on Sunday, so I hope to see you there. As always, I end by asking the OHL, please allow the fair use of your professional and amateur footage, help the small media so they can help you. Until next time, you can find me behind the bench and only the bench. This is Jordan signing off. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.